My father very rarely used it. So in winter he never used it. When there was some rain, he didn't use it. He never drove too fast, only with 80-90 kilometers per hour. A lot of people here who have old cars, they bought it some years ago. They just got a feeling and they wanted to try it, but my case is totally different because my father bought this car in 1972 when the car was 2 years old. So maybe I was made in this car. I'm not sure, but this is the legend. So grew up in this car, so we had only this car and we had only one car, so it was it had a very big value, and my father very rarely used it. So in winter he never used it. When there was some rain he didn't use it, or if rain had while he was driving, the first thing when he stopped was to clean it and dry it. Never drove too fast, only with 80-90 kilometers per hour. At the time there were other types of cars too, but this was the best quality. So at that time it was like a Mercedes now. And as you can see, it's still working like that time. When he changed the car, he bought a Mercedes now. So from Polski he moved to Mercedes. So when I got the license in 1997 and I had to go somewhere by car, I used it, okay, in nice weather and mainly in summer. That time I already knew that I wanted to make it old-timer. So I had my aim and I was doing everything to reach it. I had other cars too when I got older, but he still had it and used it. He did maximum 5,000 kilometers per year. Because he said always that the petrol costs a lot of money and this car consumes a lot of petrol, so he very rarely uses. He has always some reason not to use the car. For example, when he filled up the tank in October, it was the same the next March. In 2012, my father was fed up with it and he already wanted to buy a new one, and he said, okay, now this is your car, you can do what you want. And for this I was preparing the previous 5 years, so I knew what parts we had to change, and I bought parts on the internet. And so I found a company who restored old cars, and I took the car there and they said, okay, in 3-4 months we will make a new car for me, change all the parts you brought in. So it lasted 1 year because they didn't do it all the time. They had other jobs to do, and when they had some free time they were doing the cars. I was very upset at the end and told them, I don't care, I will take the car even in pieces if you don't give me together. So they got it, and there were still a lot of problems they didn't fix properly. I found, fortunately, very good car mechanics in the place where I live. They are very good friends and we fix it together. If something has to be changed, I find the parts somewhere in the country because it's not so easy to find it. It's just you go to the shop and buy it. I need minimum 1 week to get part. There was a part I ordered from Germany. Imagine, because in Hungary it was not available. If you go to the shop and you want to buy something, you won't find anything. But I have some contacts. There are some people in Hungary who have some remaining parts and they sell it. Or especially who deal with it. But for that person the price is very high because his purpose is to look for car parts at people who don't know the price and buys very cheap price, and then he puts to the internet for the fortunes. It's mine, but I like showing it too, so I like very much when I drive in the streets and a lot of people just wave or stop me or come to me with questions, and it's a fantastic feeling. So I always have this question from people and tell them the price is 5 million forints. Because I know if somebody has this money and wants to give for the car, I'm sure that he will take care of it because doesn't want to waste so much money. We used it as family car, so when we had almost every year 1 week holiday, summer holiday, we usually came to Lake Balaton. And we came here with this car and we made a trip around the lake. So it was almost about 1,000 kilometers for 1 week. Very interesting question. He always said very bad things about it, that he was fed up with it, he has to repair it and so on, he wanted to buy a new one. Also nowadays he says, why do you want to have this car? Because you don't know how to fix it, you have a lot of problems with it. But when he comes with me somewhere where people are interested in it, he's the first one who is telling stories. So it's a very interesting case. I found this group, this club, many years ago when the car still belonged to my father. I took some pictures and I registered because there is a forum on the website, and if I needed some parts or something I could write there and there's a possibility to find parts. And it was for many years, and after when it belonged to me I took new pictures because it was restored, of course, and I put to the site, and I was regularly reading the messages and everything, and I heard about the meeting here. It was 2 years ago, and I registered and I came here and I met these people, my friends, now that time for the first time. I have their phone number, and if I don't find a part I just give a call and they tell me, oh, I have this part, I will send you by post, or I just got some things now because we met the previous meeting and I told them I need this part. Oh, I have at home, and now he brought it. In winter I use it every second week. When it's not muddy, it's dry, the street is dry, I start it and I take about 10 kilometers, even in winter, because it needs moving. If you don't start it, maybe you won't be able to start it in the spring. It was always in garage in his whole life. It was in my father's house, very far away. When it was ready, I still didn't have the garage, and I rented one in the city, and then we bought, it was from Poland, the metal garage. I put carpet into one, and Polski was there, of course, and you have to take off the shoes. And it was very hot inside in summer and very cold in winter. And I thought it is not very good for the seats, you know, it's made of leather and it will go wrong. And that's why we built a very new one from bricks, and I put heating inside. Now it is in the garage, but it is covered, because, you know, when you open the door some dust gets in, and normally I have to clean it only maximum 5 times a year. It's always clean, inside, outside. It's covered. I just take the cover off when we go. It is never washed, so I have a special towel, yeah? Put it into water, squeeze it, and just clean with it. It's never really dirty. want to use it like now forever. Okay, the problem is that I won't live forever, and I was thinking of making a contract with a museum somewhere and to give it to them after.